Haley, did you watch the TikTok I sent you this morning?
Yes, somebody. Okay,
Because
let's share.
because I
So
cackled.
it was this TikTok, and this woman said that the reason we lost to Ole Miss was because I was subbed out for 22 seconds. I said, "What? That's the reason?" I don't think that's the
Because
reason.
at first I was gonna skip the TikTok because I don't like to bring negative energy into my life.
But it was funny.
But I was like, okay, well, let me see why we lost. Actually, let's see her opinion.
Inform
Because
me.
I
Tell me.
so she goes and she's like, I checked the box score, and Haley Jones only played 39 point like 48 minutes. And I said, so
What?
she played 39 minutes and 48 seconds, and that's why we lost the game.
Yes,
Okay.
because I missed
I
12
cackled.
seconds.
I literally laughed out loud. I just had to share it with you.
No, I really appreciated that. Presented by State Farm. Welcome back to Sometimes I Hoop. It's your host, Haley Jones. Quick humble brag. If you don't know me by now, gotta catch up on hoops. Recently retired from Stanford. You can Google me. But this isn't about me. I'm joined by my friend and teammate. Humble brag about her. She's a 3-time USA gold medalist, national champion, and she has something with dunking, I guess. My friend, Fran Belibi. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So, we're recording here from Stanford, not Seattle, as we had wished. But, we're still out here bringing in the March Madness content. And obviously, we did get upset by Ole Miss in the second round. It was a tough fought game. We almost had it there near the end. But, what were those feelings for you when the final buzzer went off? I know for me in the moment, it was like shock. Like it didn't really hit. But what was it for you?
Yeah, I was still processing it. I recognized that, we had lost, but it didn't really feel real. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like throughout kind of the like this year and like especially this last weekend, since it was our last weekend at Maples, it was a lot of like, oh my God, like this is our last time doing this here. Like, and so then realizing that it was like actually the last time, um, yeah, it didn't really process. It didn't really process for a couple of days actually, I think, because
Mm-hmm.
then like we would have had the off day on Monday anyway, but Tuesday like not going in for practice was weird. And then
Yeah.
having to take both my finals on Thursday, I was like, it's
Yeah.
hitting.
That was for me. I was like, I was supposed to take this final on the road. Like now I have to
Yeah,
go into the classroom.
like
I was up on Canvas talking about, oh, I didn't even look where it was. I had to find what
like
classroom I was going to and what time.
didn't know, barely knew the time. I almost panicked. I thought I missed the test.
A little bit nerve
Anyway,
wracking. A little bit nerve wracking. But I mean, you kind of mentioned it like it didn't even set for a few days after. I remember being in the locker room. It was just so sad. Like it was like a somber time. Like Tara was talking, and I remember I was taking off my tape. She's like, Haley,
mhm.
like eyes here. I was like, oh, sorry, girl. I'm just in shock. I'm trying to figure it out. But I mean, what do you think it was like in there? Because I feel like we closed off on the note that we did not want to, but we really kind of impacted the game the past 4 years. We were through COVID season. I guess you dunked a few times, which was, I suppose, pretty big for women's basketball. But it happens all the time for us. We're like, whatever, Fran, we get it. But like, I feel like we kind of made some big strides during our time. But how was that for you in the locker room? Kind of like the hugs going around. I know those got me.
It
Um,
was the hugs
it was the
because
hugs.
like Hannah was crying already on the court. Like you were kind of crying a little bit on the court. I was
Hmm.
just like, I was in shock. I was there. I was like, oh wow, like we actually lost. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But then we got to the locker room and Tara was talking, and it was pretty somber, but it also was kind of like, I don't know. It was like, okay, like come on.
What's next?
And then I was in the locker room and I was like figuring out my phone and like trying to figure out my jersey. It was super sweaty and that's always disgusting.
Yeah.
And then Brooke came up to me and Brooke hates hugs. Like
Hmm.
Brooke
Hmm.
hates hugs. And she was like, Fran, can I give you a hug? And I said,
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah,
you can
please.
always give me a hug. That was like kind of where it was starting to hit, where I was like, oh, like
Damn.
this is the end.
Yeah, that was tough when people who don't give hugs were like, Haley, bring it in. I said, don't do
So,
this to me now. But I mean, enough about our upset. Let's talk
right,
about
right,
some
right,
other upsets and
right, right,
get
right,
off the
right, right.
topic of ours because March Madness is still happening. And
Yeah.
so in the first round, we saw so many, right? Some that I didn't even pick, like Toledo over
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State, Mississippi State
Mm-hmm.
over Creighton. I think Miami taking down Oklahoma State and then
And
Indiana
then Indiana, good
was
for them, really.
wild. Was
Honestly, good for
wild.
them.
Yeah,
And like
because
both of those wins, it wasn't like okay, maybe the Oklahoma State could have been like, like a blow up potentially, but it wasn't. Like they were
Mhm.
both like had to
Neck
come
and neck.
back like down to the last minute.
Yeah,
Good for them, really.
it was crazy. But for me, Colorado, go Buffs. Cause
Just go
what?
Buffs. Back the pack.
Because over Middle Tennessee and then Duke,
And
and
then
then
Duke.
our girl Jalen was getting all emotional on TV. I said, "Oh, girl, talk your stuff."
Honestly,
Yeah,
go off. Back the pack. Go
back to
Buffs.
back. Out of the tournament, we're officially done with our college careers, which means no more 3-hour practices.
God
No,
bless.
no more bus rides, no more team meals, which is crazy. I want to know
Yeah.
for you, what do you think? We kind of talked about, the off day, and then Tuesday was really our first, like, oh, wow, it's over moment.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think is going to be the biggest adjustment for you moving out of this?
Because of practice, we spend so much time with each other. That's like
Mhm.
kind of like mandated time, I guess. Not
Yeah.
mandated, but like we're there and we have to be there. And so like we spend so much time with each other. And like that also helped like foster a lot of our friendships. And so
Mhm.
I think that like having to like plan time where we're gonna hang out. Like for us, like with Funky Four, like having to plan a Funky Four trip and make sure like it happens.
Yeah.
On me.
Yes. Yes, on you, but it's okay.
That's on me. But having to like actually like find the time to make time for each other, I
Mhm.
think is gonna be like the biggest adjustment. And then I don't know. I've just had so much free time. I don't even know what to do with myself. I'm watching
Mhm.
Scandal now. Like that's where I'm at.
Oh God. I think I totally agree with you. I was thinking in terms of like we now have to make time to see each other because before I was going to see you every day, whether I liked it or
Yeah,
not. I was
exactly.
going to see you. I was going to see you
Here
at
I
the dining
am.
hall. Here you are. I was, here I
At
am.
your home.
Here I
Here I
am.
am.
And it was like, I was going to see you at practice, in the weight room, film. When we're on the road, we're together 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after that COVID year, I feel like we all formed like almost unhealthy bonds to one another
Yeah.
because there
Yeah.
was no going 5 minutes without
Yeah.
seeing somebody. And so it's going to be so different having to schedule time to see each other, like you said. And I think another adjustment is like not having our days completely scheduled out because I go into every day and I'm like, okay,
Like
uh,
this,
it's this, this,
this.
this, 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 this. And I have 30 minutes between this to get my homework done. And I have this much time to do this and this much
Mm-hmm.
time for a nap. But now it's like, look at all this time, Haley. All
Right.
you have to do today, especially now it's about to be spring break and I'm only doing like one independent study in the spring. It's like, all you have to do today is meet with your professor for an hour and work out. What you gonna
Mm-hmm.
do with the rest of your time, girlfriend? Figure it out. Do something. Find a
No,
hobby.
like I used to make fun of NARPs because I'll never forget. I was in the elevator one day, and this NARP was like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna take a quick nap, and then I'll probably do some homework." It was 9 p.m. They were
Yeah.
taking their quick nap at 9 p.m. to go do some homework until 3 a.m. and they were calling that their day. And I was like, "That's crazy that you're doing it like that." But like now, as a NARP myself, I get it. I start my work late,
Well, friend,
and I'm not planning anything.
what's a NARP for the people listening
Oh, I'm
who
sorry.
know what a NARP
I'm
is?
sorry. A non-athletic regular person. So
What's
maybe
so
actually I'm not
crazy?
a NART. I think I'm actually an art
Whoa.
athletic. regular
Athletic
person.
regular person. You have a new term. Graduated, retired. You can be a
Athletic
RARP.
person.
Retired
Exactly.
athletic regular person.
Oh yes, that's good.
Yeah. Or just be retired athletic person. You're a rap.
Oh, you're right. I'm a
Thank
rat.
you. But I
That's
think it's so
good.
crazy how NARPs don't know that they're NARPs. They just
No,
think
they
that they're
don't.
normal students, but to us, they're
But
NARPs.
they're narps.
And it's crazy because we're like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends. Oh, and some of my NARP friends are gonna be there. They're like
Yeah,
a
it's
different
like the narp,
species.
and they're like it's completely different. It's
Yeah.
actually two very separate groups, and the fact that the narp friends are going to be there is actually crazy that you're
Yes.
allowing them to mix.
Back to the season. We as a team definitely had our ups and our downs this year.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you feel like was our best team game this season? Senior year, best game. What do you think?
My first thought, honestly, is South Carolina.
Mm.
Not like, and I know we lost that game,
But like the first
but
20 minutes.
yeah, like the first 20 minutes. I think maybe the first 20 minutes of the third UCLA game.
Yes.
Uh,
Second half
honestly,
seemed to be our downfall.
I'd actually even give us the first 30 minutes. It was actually those last 10 minutes
Oh,
that got us.
so the fourth quarters are our downfall. I
The
see.
fourth quarter is actually what got us.
In a
But
variety of
like,
games. Well,
yeah,
well, technically, when we played against USC, it was the first 10 minutes
it was the
that got us
first,
on the
and
downhill.
and that got it. Actually, I rescind my statement. The best game we played was the Colorado game, and
The
that first
triple
quarter was
overtime?
the double. You
Oh,
remember?
sorry, double.
Yeah, you remember. You were there for all
Yeah,
50 of
all
them.
50 of them. I was there.
All 50 minutes.
I think Colorado was good. I think the other game I think of was our Creighton game and how much time we spent doing that dang gaggle stuff
Gaggle,
that they
and they didn't
do,
get us.
and they didn't get us. And I
They
was
didn't
ready
get
for
us.
backdoor screen, flare,
Uh-huh.
wrap. I was prepared. I was out there on the court saying,
But we were
gaggle,
locked.
locked in because we had to hear it all
But
week. What do you think is the funniest memory of all 4 years? Because we've had some funny times. We really have.
my first thought was freshman year when we were warming up and we were doing side slide.
Stop.
And Ashton tripped over her own feet, tumbled to the ground.
Yes.
I'll never forget that moment.
When I think about the funniest times, my sense of humor has been shaped in a way where I find like random things so funny. For example, a traumatic experience of us having to practice in the dark when the power went out. In the moment, I thought I was done.
Terrible.
In the moment, awful. I could
I was
barely survive.
dying.
But now, one of the funniest things that's ever happened to me. I find so much laughter and humor in that
In the
because
trauma.
for the audience here, we were in Santa Cruz
Mm-hmm.
for COVID and the power went out because of the storm. But that doesn't mean no practice. What that means is open the doors to the high school gym and let the light come in. Let the light come in and let the Lord save us because what we went through, oh my
Let
God.
the light come in. We were beating each other up. It's actually a wonder
Yes.
we all walked out of there with our like
Yes.
intact.
I think the other thing that now I find so much humor in is our freshman year when we did the program where we had two Navy SEALs come in and, and yell at us for 2 days straight.
I knew it was gonna be bad with the way the lady walked in.
Yeah, she walked
Like
in, we were all
the
chuckling.
gentleman, I was like, he seems intense, but like I can make it. The way that lady walked in and was like, sit up straight, and I thought it was a joke.
No, she said, sit up straight, hands in your laps. I said, oh
Hands in your, I
no.
said, oh okay.
And then we get out there and we're out on that hot sun. I remember I just straightened my hair. Worst mistake ever. We're out there. I'm sweating out my hair. We're on the ground. We're carrying each other across the football field. We're doing XYZ. The next day we're in the pool. Kiana
In
and
the
Anna
pool, drowning.
can't even swim. And they're
Can't
holding
even
on to my
swim.
spandex as I swim them across the pool.
Oh
Crazy.
my god! I
Crazy.
think I think everybody should experience that at least once in their life.
I think so too,
If
because it's
not
really
for the
shaped me
team
into
bonding, for the laughs.
who I am today.
No, because I'll never forget the way that gentleman told Lexi to stand there and yell at Alyssa's face, "It's all your fault."
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
said, "Oh,
I just recall
oh,
when I was told that I had to lead half the team here across the pool. I said, half them can't swim. How you want me to get them there? What
no,"
do you what do
because
you want from me?
because we jumped in the pool, right? I had Kiana on my team. We jumped in the pool. We're all swimming. We're swimming. We're swimming. We're halfway across. We turn. Key is walking. She's still walking across. She hasn't
Well,
even made it past the flags.
yes. The craziest thing was that when you jumped in the pool, no diving allowed. You just had and no like run up start. It's just
No,
jumping
but
as
you just
far as you
jump.
can in the air, feet
No,
first,
but
jump.
the craziest thing about that was all the rules involved, right? Like if the leader, it was like ready, ready, attack, and then you go. But you
Yeah.
can't say attack, and you all have to say ready. The worst is
Mm-hmm.
you're jumping, you're in the air, and you hear someone else has copied the attack.
Yeah.
Now you have to get into the water, climb back out,
And
and
start
do it
again.
again.
100%.
And on the other side, your teammates are over here doing mountain climbers. They've been climbing for years at this
We've
point.
climbed
And it's
Everest at
on
this
you
point.
to tag them out, and it's you're not tagging them out. You keep yelling attack.
I'm over here instructing flutter kicks, looking at y'all
It's
have to get in
like
and get out 10 times. I'm like, my abs are burning, burning.
no.
The hatred I
Honestly,
had
that should
towards you
have
in that
been
moment.
honestly, that should have been our cue. Like that moment should have been like, are we built for this?
Yep.
I mean,
It
clearly
definitely
we
made me
are,
question
but
some things. It definitely made me
uh,
question some things.
I was after that, I was genuinely like, this cannot possibly be what they consider to be fun.
Yeah.
Like there's no way I can stay here. But
But here
here we
we are
are.
4 years later. Okay. So the one debate that I've had rolling throughout the pod is the best conference.
Oh,
And
Pat.
now I know that I have seen some stuff talking about, oh, sometimes I hoop said Pac-12, Haley said Pac-12 is best conference and they get outed by an SEC school, whatever. Right?
Whatever.
Big Debbie Ryan ear pull. Because it's like it's whatever. But
Yeah.
what do you think the best conference is?
I still gotta back the pack,
That's what I'm
but
saying.
I think that like next best conference is the SEC. Just kind of with the way they play and their intensity on offense and defense, and just can you kind of think about like all the different names that are in that conference. And um I think the SEC would be next.
Yeah. Okay.
Um no disrespect to all the other conferences.
None at
You're
all. None at
all
all.
amazing. I mean,
This is
come
never out of
on.
disrespect. It's always out of
No.
just
It's
the
out
utmost.
of just I my humble opinion.
Uh-huh. Fran, you started playing basketball. For everyone who doesn't know, what, your freshman year of high school?
Yeah.
I feel like your then recruiting process was different than a lot of people's,
Yeah.
or just kind of like the way that you came onto the circuit was you really bursted onto the scene.
Yeah, I did.
And so like what was that like kind of hopping in late, but then still
Hmm.
being recruited by the top programs, yada yada yada. Like what was that like?
Yeah. It was really funny because like me and my family, we didn't know that you could play basketball in college and like have that pay for school. I
Mm-hmm.
remember my high school coach told my mom that, and she like looked him in the eye and was like, "You're lying. Like
Yeah.
there's no way that's a true statement."
You're
And
lying.
so like because of that, we didn't really like know what the recruiting process was like. I remember sophomore year, like coaches started wanting me to call them, and my mom was like, "You're not doing that. You have to focus on school. They can wait until junior year." And I was like, "Okay,
Okay.
like cool, I'm chilling."
I'm
I
chilling.
remember junior year, we changed my whole phone number. Like the phone number they put on like those things for coaches to call you, changed it.
Yep.
That first day of recruiting, my phone was silent. I went in and out of
Silencio.
class. I was studying, like listening to the teachers, whatever. Like I didn't hear a word from anyone.
Didn't you make
My
a
phone,
website?
yeah, we made a website. And so if coaches actually really wanted me that bad, they had to like go in through the website, and then I'd like put them on a schedule. And like in that way, I know when everything is happening and no one is interrupting my me time. And
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
worked.
Yeah.
But like it was like a really weird process. I also like didn't really expect to be recruited like as heavily as I ended up being recruited.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I didn't really like the recruiting process, to be honest. So I tried to end it as quickly as possible. I cut my list very fast, and then I picked my school. I picked Stanford junior year, like
Mm-hmm.
right at the end. So it was very much let's get her done. Let's
Get her
figure this
done.
out and move on.
Yep. 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 I
Because
remember.
you were a little bit different,
Oh,
right?
yes. I took the
In that,
entire time available
yeah,
and
you
more because
did.
of the fires. I took an extra week due to the fires.
You did.
Um, but yes, I remember when you told me about the website, I was like, stop playing. But it actually made so much sense because then it's like if a
It
coach
worked.
goes outside of their scheduled time, then it's like, oh, you don't respect my boundaries. Bye.
Yeah.
Like it makes it
Bye.
easier for you.
And a lot of people were like, I'll never forget. I talked to South Carolina. They like
Mhm.
scheduled a time. I called her. I think it was Lisa Boyer. And I was like, we like talked about like kind of my goals, their goals. And at the end, she was like, I don't think this is the school for you. But like, we appreciate you, reaching back out. And I was like, and I appreciate you reaching out to me. And it was really a great, lovely conversation. And we didn't waste each other's time.
Yeah. And you're like,
And
this is
like,
not the fit.
yeah. And I just feel like sometimes the recruiting process, like people's time just ends up getting wasted. So like with the
Yeah.
website, like if you are actively trying to recruit me and it's not just like, oh, quick call or like let me see if I can just call real quick to see if I could like get her to do this real quick,
Mm-hmm.
then like you go through the website. Now we know where we stand and we're not wasting each other's time. And
100%.
so I really appreciated that part of it. My mom had some foresight. I appreciate that from her.
Yes, Miss Suzanne be having the foresight. Love that from her. But okay, well, now we were at Stanford together for 4 years. That's weird to say in the past tense, but we were at Stanford together for 4 years. So I feel like we should give people a look into the locker room. So, a few questions here to share to the audience. Who's on Ox in the locker room?
You.
Thank you.
And if you're not there, it's Agnes.
Yeah,
And that's a
and
little bit
that's a
touch and
ugh.
go.
Ooh. We're getting some random Australian. What's that purple song she be playing? Purple
And
some.
she
Oh
just
no.
like takes every song that she's ever liked and puts it on a playlist.
And it's
And so it's
everywhere.
like
And it's a lot
everywhere.
of TikTok songs.
I was gonna say a lot of TikTok songs, but
Yeah.
I'm not on that, so I can't really judge.
Yeah. And then, okay, what are your go-to pregame songs? I already know the answer.
I like my music very slow.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta be honest, when Hannah ends up being on Ox first and she's playing the Adele, I'm here for it.
You're loving it. You're loving it. I know you are. Yeah.
True.
Okay. And then in the locker room, who are the best dancers and the worst dancers?
Okay. So best dancers, you mean like freestyle or like of the TikTok variety?
Okay, give us both.
Okay, of the TikTok variety, Betty is up
Betty
here
in
like this
India?
to every song.
In
And
India?
India eating it up. Boom.
I just want to rock.
Kiki
Body yeah.
Kiki also Kiki also can really hit him with the here,
Yeah, she can.
right?
She can. She can.
If we're talking about granted, I think if we're talking about actual like dancing, India is still up there.
Mm-hmm.
I think you are up there.
Thank you.
And I just think nobody else really like puts them. You know what? Here, I'll give it to Brooke.
I was about to say, say Brooke, say Brooke. Yeah.
Me, Brooke, Kiki, and Agnes and JoJo, we took that dance class, and you know what? When Brooke wants to, Brooke can hit a move for
She
real.
sure can. She
Like
sure
you can't
can.
even put her at the bottom.
Yeah.
At the bottom, I feel like at the bottom it's just people I just don't see dance. Like I like Ashton, I've never seen her get in there and dance.
No, I know who's at the bottom. Elena.
Oh,
Come
like
on.
kidding. You're
Elena's the
right.
worst dancer.
Elena, Elena is something. We'll leave it at that.
She's something. Okay. Now moving into our last segment here, it's gonna be the vibe check. Another rapid fire portion, and I think we can do even better than last time. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. What's the drill you never want to see on the practice plan?
Weaves.
100%. Anything with weaves,
Weaves.
goodbye. Okay. Game winning shot or game winning block?
Shot.
Okay. And one or 3-pointer.
A 3-pointer. Please, God,
3-pointer.
please.
3-pointer. Okay. Go to trash talk line.
I'm not really a trash
You're
talker.
not.
Although I did block a girl the other day, and I did say, get that week out of
Oh,
here.
love it. Love it.
So, but I'm not really a trash talker.
You're not really a trash talker, but from time to time, get off me.
Yeah.
Referee.
Well, the referee is in defense of you guys. Be serious.
Okay. Anyways, ice pack or ice bath?
Fact.
Okay. What's your go-to move on the court?
I love a good right, left, move the hand out of the way
Yep.
layup.
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the hardest place to play on the road?
Either South Carolina
Mhm.
or playing you know what? Also maybe Colorado. The altitude
Yeah.
and we just never do our best there.
I was also thinking Gonzaga was loud. They were
Yes.
loud. The kennel
Oh
was
my god, that
kennel
was
was
such a fun
rocking.
game. You
That
know who
was.
else was loud? And I actually thought that they were actually louder than South Carolina was Tennessee. And
Oh, they
maybe it's
were
because
loud.
I was a little bit concussed and I didn't actually
That could have
play.
played into it.
But it felt like Tennessee was just louder. But
They were loud.
they were both loud. They were
Yeah.
both very loud.
What's your biggest basketball ick?
So I've been watching the men lately.
Fran, what happened to
And
rapid fire?
sorry. So yeah, sorry, I'm getting there. But
Okay.
basically, I've been watching the men, and for some reason, a lot of them wear their shorts really low rise, but still very long.
Yeah.
And it's just
No.
like made me a little bit uncomfortable.
I agree. I
I,
wholeheartedly
I
agree.
also think the sweatbands, like sweatbands are cool, but like the sweatbands slash headbands that also then go over the hair,
Yeah,
I
no.
think a little bit odd.
I agree. A little bit odd. A little bit odd.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
agree.
that's me.
That's a good one. And then what's your best impersonation of Tara?
She goes like this. She's like, "Yes doesn't stand for stupid."
You didn't need to try to imitate her voice like that too, dude.
I didn't have to do it like that.
Well, friend, this has been amazing. Lots of laughs. Thank you so
Always.
much for coming on the pod.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my
Just
gosh,
a minute.
it's such a blessing. And we will be, sometimes I hope we'll be back next week with more March Madness content.
I was like thinking about my first impression of you, and I was like, I can't believe I thought she was cool. Like, she's such a weirdo.
Fran.
Like, Haley, I was like, Haley is such a weirdo, but God, love her.
Oh, whatever. Okay.